Hello, and welcome to another episode of Keep It Moving Podcast. I am your host, Novelty, and always with me, I got Mike B.
What it do? What it do? What it do? Wake up, wake up, wake up.
You doing too much.
Hey, I'm trying to have the energy on the show. Wake you up.
You need to.
What's going on?
Not much. You just had a birthday.
That's how we started out?
Yep, that's how we start now. You getting older.
Yes, that happens.
You're kissing 40.
Nobody asked, but yes, I am. It's actually depressing.
Why? Nothing depressing about 40.
Well, that's because you're there and you don't want to be depressed, but which I understand. But I don't know. I don't know if it feels like I'm taking steps backwards. Actually, not like I'm not doing anything with my life. So yeah, that's depressing.
That's a personal problem.
I know it's depressing for me. I ain't say for everybody, but.
Well, when I was 39, I had like a 2-hour moment where it freaked me out. You know,
was it like 2 hours before you turned 40 or?
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't 2 hours before I turned 40. It was when I turned 39.
Okay.
I didn't even turn 40. When I turned 39, I sat there and I was like, okay, I'm getting old. If I don't have babies now, I ain't gonna have none. My eggs is just drying up and blowing away in the wind.
Yeah, but you could always buy babies,
Oh, Lordy.
They don't act like they don't sell them.
I know, right? No, but it was for like 2 hours, and then it hit me. You don't want babies, no way. So
right.
I was like, okay, no big deal.
But I mean, it's like you get to a point in your life where you feel like you're supposed to be doing something else.
I know. I still don't feel
not
like
even. I don't even know what it is.
Well, my thing is I still don't feel like an adult at times. The only time I feel like an adult for real
around us,
no, is when I got to go pay my bills.
Oh yeah, that's definitely an adult thing to do.
But other than that, there are times when I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I'm grown. I can do that.
Yeah, you can. And then the fact that you have like Mickey Mouse and all these Disney stuffed animals all around your house.
I built me a Black Panther Build-A-Bear.
Look at you. And look at the
soft kitty.
The excitement on your face right now. That's when you I guess relive your childhood and you don't want to grow up.
It sings soft kitty.
Oh, that reminds me of your Toys R Us store shutting down.
Oh my God. I went into Toys R Us.
I didn't know they were actually still open, to be honest.
Well, they're liquidating, so they are open. And I went in there last week or the week before, one or the other. And I was just nostalgic. I actually went to one of them that I actually worked at one time.
Oh.
Like, it don't look nothing like it looked.
How old were you when you worked there?
I was in college.
Oh, okay.
I worked for one summer in college. Actually, it wasn't a summer. It was around Christmas.
Okay.
Because I would work Christmas holidays, the night shift.
Right, doing the stocking and stacking or whatever. Nothing wrong with that. A lot of people. I worked at the post office for like a seasonal worker. Mm-hmm. But you probably had more fun than I did at the post office.
Yeah, I got to I put the Barbie aisle together.
That was right up your alley too, wasn't
it? At the time,
just a big old kid.
I was a big old kid. Still a big old kid.
Right on. How have you been?
I'm good. Just tired. We did the AIDS walk today, so I've been up since very early this morning. We do it as a family, and we out walking and talking and chatting with family, and then my family is still out sitting out
at the
barbecuing.
All right, on
because
make it a day
we
of
make
it,
a day out of
especially
it. Especially
if you all get together, might as well enjoy it.
Right? We get together. Those who can't walk stay at the house and they barbecue and cook up food. So by the time the walkers get done, food's there. We go back, we eat, and we just sit, listen to music, and of course they get their drink on. You notice I ain't even gonna lie and say we.
Yeah, I'm like, you too sleepy right now to have had a drink.
No, I ain't had nothing. So, but yeah, they're still out. Actually, they're texting me and sending me pictures of the party that I'm missing.
For the show. It's all dedication to the show.
Dedication.
Speaking of, where have we been? It's been a while. I think I was the first person to reschedule the show. But we ain't pointing fingers.
No, not this week because none of them point at us. To be truthfully honest.
Yeah, like we were supposed to be recording, and then I got surprise visitors, which happens like all the time. To be honest, I can't even really call it a surprise. I'm just notified when my family gets in town. Like, hey, we're here. They don't say,
come unlock the door.
We're coming. They're like, hey, we're here. What time do you get off work? And so it turns into a family affair, And I'm not really the type of person to have too much company, but when my family comes over, I usually have a house full, and everybody wants to stay with me. It could be like 5 people come from out of town, and these were my relatives, along with my grandfather from Arkansas. And so when they get here, it could be 5, it could be 4 of them, but then everybody else locally in the family comes over to my place and like hangs out, plays dominoes, plays spades. One I think it was Friday morning or Friday night. We stayed up to like 6 in the morning singing. And my grandfather, the next night, he was like, "Hey, y'all gonna rehearse for the for the next round of songs?" When we get together, we have a good time, and I have like I won't say really a small apartment. It's a 2-bedroom, but my room is off limits. So I have a 1-bedroom and the living room. And when we all get together, like nobody cares about anything. As long as they have like a sheet or a pillow or a drink in their hand, everybody's cool. By the end of the night, everybody's all over the floor.
I believe it.
Just knocked out, not caring. It's just good to get together with family every now and then. And so the day we were supposed to record, I went to run some errands for my grandfather, and then he wanted to come back to my place. And it was just me, him, and another relative from Arkansas. By 8:30, because we usually record at 8. By 8:30, it was like at least 25 people in my house. And I said we would have never been able to get to record.
It might have made for an interesting show.
It would have been interesting because my family is off the chain.
We should try that one day.
I don't know.
We should try it. I mean, it's not live. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and the show may not go up, but we can still. I guess the show can still go on. And then you had a family emergency.
Right. My cousin passed, 54 years old, had a glioblastoma, diagnosed last year, and he passed away, was it a week ago, Tuesday?
For some reason, it feels like it happened on a Tuesday because I know your aunt and your mom were trying to get down there.
Yeah. I had booked them on a flight to go. Actually, no, it was a week ago, Monday. I had booked them on a flight that Sunday to leave Tuesday, and she didn't make it to see him before he passed.
I know that probably took a toll on her.
Well, right now, she's not really saying anything, but I'm sure as time goes, you gotta, when somebody passes, the initial, there's so much stuff going on.
Right, you're so busy dealing with family and trying to get things together for the funeral and all the arrangements.
But when you settle into the new normal,
right?
And he was he was her firstborn, and her number one. His name was on everything and all of that. So her mail would come with his name on it, and so now she's getting ready to get settled into the new norm, and she'll start seeing his name, and so she'll really start to grieve finally.
Right.
So it's gonna be a long road, but it's gonna be a road. We travel.
Right. It
happens. Give it to you if you can't take it.
Yeah. Doesn't put more on you than you can bear.
Nope. So
prayers up to your family. Yeah, I told you the other
I will
day.
be in the mental hospital. Just know.
Well, you without anything going on, you headed that way anyway.
Hush it.
I tell you all the time.
So you got a bae for me?
I do. This week is surprising for Black achievements and excellence. We are awarding Kendrick Lamar, and Kendrick would I love Kendrick. And then when I found out he was doing the Black Panther soundtrack, which is like my number one movie of all time, and it just came out. This is my number one. I was excited, but then here recently he was awarded what they call an elusive honor that I don't think I've ever heard of a rap artist achieving.
No,
the Pulitzer Prize. I didn't even know they gave Pulitzer Prizes in music.
They give the only people who have won Pulitzer Prizes in music, it's been for jazz and classical music. He is the first ever outside of jazz and classical music. So no R&B, no hip hop, no rock and roll, no alternative. A rap artist.
Kendrick Lamar.
People are upset.
Why? Well, people are like haters because I guess if maybe they haven't listened to his music, haven't listened to the words, because he won it for the album Damn. And Kendrick Lamar is up there, in my opinion, with J. Cole. They both basically write music and write lyrics that you actually have to, they're deep. They have meaning. They have a message, and they're educating you. And so now if you just wanted to hear the old mumble rap, then you're not gonna like this or appreciate what he's bringing to the table. But if you want to take a step back and actually learn about what's going on, then you will pick up a J. Cole album or a Kendrick Lamar.
Well, you know, it's kind of funny. The people that were complaining about it, I don't think had ever even listened to Kendrick Lamar, because they were talking about, he's sitting here talking about women and calling them bitches and hoes and talking about booties. And I'm like,
I think they're just generalizing rap.
Right. They just went completely general.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's not happening.
Yeah, it's like the people who were complaining about the Get Out. And what was the guy, Jordan Peele, winning the award?
Right.
They didn't want to even watch the movie. I guess they assumed what it was going to be about, and he ended up winning an award anyway.
Well, and I mean, Kendrick Lamar deserved it. And there are rap artists that are out there that are deeper than bitches, hoes, and booties.
Right.
So,
but the sad part is that we don't give those artists any shine. I think nowadays people are coming around to your Kendrick Lamars and your J. Coles, and I'm sure there are other artists out there like that. I feel like Chance the Rapper is kind of more of a conscious rapper as well. But people, they just want to like a good beat. They want to, hear about the drugs and the struggle in the street and all of this without any type of value in the rap.
Right.
And just like with R&B music, there was a time when it had a message. There was a time when it came with soul.
Now it's just nasty.
It's just, well, ain't nothing wrong with being nasty.
Yeah, but it ain't got to be nasty all the time.
Ain't nothing wrong, because it was nasty back in the day.
Yeah, but it was undercover nasty. My thing is,
well, I don't know when H-Town, who was it? H-Town say, "Let me lick you up and down."
Who was that?
Silk.
And that's when they started going, what's going on here? Now, I mean, I'm not saying that R&B has always been clean. And if you go back even further than that, you can find a track here and there.
Right.
But R&B is like, to me, should have is like a female should be. There is a time when less is more. You ain't got to show all the goodies for people to be attracted.
Yeah.
You just show a little here,
like
a
tease
little there.
and entice and be
and that's what
sensual
R&B
and
used to be.
seductive and about love and not about straight sex.
Marvin Gaye needed sexual healing.
Yeah.
I mean, some of it was just, and even with Freak Me,
listen to you. Look at
like,
you.
whoa.
If y'all can see her face right there.
No, I mean, but
like your body just went through an emotion.
Back then, even when it first came out, we was like, oh my God, my little sister was 2 singing Freak Me Baby.
Yeah, not even knowing what freak me means.
My mama said, what is that? Turn that off. And as soon as my little sister got out the car, she said, okay, turn it back on.
Because it definitely changed. Right. You felt the change.
That's where the change was. And it's just like, it just keeps getting worse and worse. And even with rap, LL Cool J, I Need Love. You don't hear that no more.
Because it's like we've transitioned from love to sex.
That's all y'all need. Come on.
Well, it's not. It just
that's what all y'all talk about.
But it's what people are putting out there now, and so you just this is all you have to choose from.
Musicians, I need y'all to be a little more creative and sit down with a pen and paper and write some stuff that is gonna make me think, make me feel, make me be loved. And then you can be freaky too.
Right.
I'm not saying all the freaky gotta go out. It's just everything ain't got to. It's either freaky or dancing. There's more to life than being freaky and dancing.
Because when you put your 2 hands together, you got freak dancing up in this piece.
Anywho, Kendrick Lamar.
Shout out to Kendrick Lamar.
Woo!
And a quick honorary mention given to Colin Kaepernick. Did you hear about his achievement over the weekend or this month, where he was awarded the Ambassador of Conscience by the Amnesty International?
Oh, wow.
And they said it's like a high prestigious award, but he was given that for his public opposition to racial injustice.
Good job.
And so this man is out here constantly racking up achievements for positive messages and for his positive movement, and still being blackballed and still being hated on
and the beauty, I think, of it is it's not stopping him from doing it.
It's not. Yeah. Because a lesser man probably would have been like, you know what? Let me just stand. I'm not gonna kneel anymore.
Let me
because
quit.
Clearly they took his job away because of his stance on the injustice system.
Right.
But the fact that he's still continuing on with his message and with his movement, then you have to be appreciative of a brother like this that's standing in the gap for those who can't speak for themselves. And then for those who aren't, even when you can't speak for yourself, you don't have the platform to do it. Everybody has, social media, but then everybody is afraid. You're
Right.
afraid to speak up and speak out against certain things because with that comes consequences. And this brother speaking out, he had to face the consequences. So I'm glad that other people, even outside the United States, is looking at what he's doing and realizing that this is for the greater good of America, whether America realizes it or not, as a whole.
Right.
So you can't help but appreciate this brother. I feel like we talk about him all the time, and I'm not gonna stop.
But,
I'm not
you
gonna
can't
stop
help it.
if he's doing
He's
what's
doing
positive
right.
and showing us a better route to do this thing. Then I feel like we should highlight it each and every time we can. When somebody is doing things for us, and when I say us, I mean black people.
Right.
And I'm going to shout
need to
from the rooftops.
give them that acknowledgement. You're right.
And one last thing.
Okay.
I believe it was our last episode we talked, or I believe for Black Achievements is Excellence, I talked about the young cat who was he received admissions to 20 different colleges and got full scholarships or whatever.
Yes.
Did you hear about the Fox News host?
Yes, and she don't need a job, but that's okay.
Like, how can you take something that's positive? This man applied to colleges. He received 20 admissions. He received full rides from 20 schools, other scholarships as well. And you find a way to make a negative out of it.
Why did he send off to 20 colleges? He shouldn't have sent off to 20 colleges. He's keeping 19 other people out of their seat.
But why does it matter?
Waitlisted. Okay, so and white people have been doing it their entire lives.
Right. I don't get it. I mean, they make it seem, their argument to me is like he's going to all 20 schools.
Her argument to me was petty,
Oh, it's definitely petty.
racist,
Yeah.
and
What's obnoxious about it?
jealous.
Oh, definitely.
She was jealous.
Maybe somebody she knows was denied a scholarship or something like
or
that.
waitlisted, and she's jealous.
Straight hate.
That's it.
This brother trying to
And on
further his
top of that,
education and better
straight
himself.
hate of a child.
Oh,
That's the thing.
It don't
He's
matter
a
these days.
child.
It don't matter because I'll hate on the child in a minute. I
Look,
ain't gonna lie.
Young brother got 20 scholarships. Good
Shout
job.
out,
Way
and I think his
to
name was
go.
Michael Brown. Shout out to that
Good
young man.
job.
And that's not obnoxious to me.
No, not at all. Now, I have an honorary bay.
Okay.
James Shaw Jr.,
Oh, right on.
the young man
Waffle House.
that
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
well, that's okay. The young man that saved everybody in the Waffle House, except unfortunately the 4 victims, of course.
Right.
But he stopped the shooter, and he says, I didn't do it to save anybody's life. I did it to, quite honestly, save my own life. I
Right.
wasn't thinking about everybody else.
Right.
I was thinking about me.
And
which
I can see
I
that.
can understand that.
you know, that's like one of those in the end result, he ended up saving other people, but he was
Right.
looking out
But
for
he
himself.
was looking out for himself.
And-
He said that I didn't see any other options. I go in that bathroom with everybody else. I'm a sitting duck. I'm dead. There was no other option. I had to figure out how I could get this gun away from him. And he did. And this, not only did he save everybody else's life, but they put a GoFundMe together for this gentleman. And he took the GoFundMe money and paid for the funerals of the 4 victims. Instead of using it for his own personal
Right.
self, which is, it was put together for him.
Right.
He could have done whatever he wanted with it.
Acknowledge
and
him and appreciate him.
paid for the 4 funerals of those 4 young victims.
I was hearing that Waffle House had said at one point that they were going to pay for the funerals. Did that not happen?
I don't know. I just know that he put up that money for that, and he's been raising money for other things to do for these 4 victims. So this young man is somebody who may have initially been thinking about himself, but now that the dust has settled, he's not. So he doesn't think he's a hero, but in my eyes, he
Right.
is, because he could have just done it for himself and done everything for himself, taken the money and left it at that. But he took that money and he gave it back.
Right.
I love
to
that.
make it a less selfless act.
Right. I love that.
And one thing, like bringing out that story and then hearing or continuing to hear from the Parkland students, like I actually have hope for the next generation. I thought they were actually going to be all like playing video games. Everybody's high, ain't nobody paying attention. But we see these young people are actually aware and they're actually using their platforms when they get the opportunity for the greater good. And that's what we need to see more of. So I'm glad you brought that up, because all we see usually in the media is like fights. I'm so tired of scrolling through my Facebook timeline and people posting fights. I don't understand the fascination of it.
However, now there was one that I
Listen
posted.
to you. Listen to you.
Wait a minute, and I don't like the fight videos either, but this one got my attention only because, and I reposted it on the page because it was this little skinny white boy and this big old black dude. And they was about to fight, and the little skinny white boy took off all his clothes.
Oh, yeah. And then start chasing after the guy.
Chasing the dude. He was like, "Oh, I'm gone."
It's against the rules to fight somebody naked, you know. I feel like it might be an unspoken rule.
I think the white boy won.
Well, the black guy ran. Yeah. But you know, it's good to see some of this positive stuff getting media attention instead of all the negative and the media spinning it into something negative like those Fox News hosts tried to do with the young man with the 20 scholarships.
Yeah. I'm tired of Fox News. They need to go away. Did you ever hear Donald Trump calling the Fox News?
No, I refused to listen to this guy.
You don't even you don't have to listen to him. Listen to anybody who tells the story. He called in, I guess, to just give them his point of view on Stormy Daniels and all of that.
Okay.
And Russia. And instead, he just kept talking about like everything. You know how he is. He's talking about everything.
Right.
And they couldn't stop him from talking. They kept trying to jump in, you know, because this is
To try
live
to
TV. You got to
direct the
break.
conversation,
You gotta,
yeah.
direct the conversation in the area. You got to go to commercial. This, that. They couldn't do nothing. Finally, the dude says, "Okay, Mr. President, we know you have a lot to do." Like, dang.
It sounds like everything on his mind was coming out.
Everything.
Did any of it make sense?
Well, the one thing he pointed out, you know, he swears up and down he had nothing to do with this Stormy Daniels thing, the payoff, and he knows nothing about it.
Yeah.
But then he says, but you know, Michael Cohen, yeah, he's my lawyer. He represented me in that Stormy Daniels thing. See, this is why his lawyers don't want him to talk to Mueller, because
He's
they don't
going to
know-
contradict himself.
Right. He's going to say something. He's either going to lie to him,
He's going to lie.
or he's going to contradict himself, and he's going to put himself in a world of trouble. I wouldn't want him to talk to him either. Like, he puts himself in more trouble than anything.
Right.
He's his own worst enemy.
But he won't stop talking.
Right.
That's the problem.
He won't shut
He
up.
won't
And I
stop
just sit
talking.
there. I'm like, dude, you know what? You got to win here. Shut up. And he's on a high. He's doing good. And then boom, he says something and it's over. He gives himself up. So, oh well. Anywho, I'm not talking about him for 30 minutes to an hour. Let's talk about Stephon Clark.
Okay.
And now we all know that Stephon Clark was killed by the police
Was it Sacramento?
in Sacramento because they thought his phone was a gun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. Cell phones and guns look totally different, but okay. You know, guns don't glow, I don't think.
Well, you
Have
never
you ever
know.
seen a gun that glows?
But then we don't know at what point, like if his cell phone was glowing, whatever.
So, but anywho,
That's always going to
that's
be an excuse.
neither here nor there. But the problem is, after black people stood up and automatically defended this man that they didn't know anything about and just defended what happened and protested and boycotted and all of that, then somebody finds on his tweet his Twitter stream where he tweeted, "The only thing black I want is an Xbox." Black women are the black man's number one supporter, and that's what he starts to say.
Okay.
He called black women bitches and whores, and basically he didn't like black women.
Okay.
So I got a problem with that because, like I said, black women are the black man's number one supporter.
Right.
There's nobody that's going to be in your corner more than a black woman. So I can understand you want to date outside of your race. That's fine. But when and I don't care if you're Indian, I don't care if you're Asian, I don't care if you're black, you're Mexican, I don't care what you are. But when you will refuse to date your own race and talk negatively down about the women in your race, you disrespect yourself and your mother.
Right.
That's where I have the biggest problem. I get you fall in love, and sometimes color doesn't matter. My grandmother and my grandfather fell in love at some point. I don't know when, because by the time I met them, they was out of love. But they did. And color didn't matter. At least not for the time it took for them to have 3 kids. Color didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes color, it just doesn't matter. And I get that. And I understand where people come from when they say that. But when you turn back around and say, I don't date black women because, and you're black, or I don't date Indian women because, and you're Indian, that bothers me. Because it's self-hatred.
Yeah, I understand. And I feel like you as a black woman would feel that way. I don't see the correlation between them defending him and this issue. Because you started out talking about him, people protesting
I'm sorry.
or whatever.
Black women are now, I did miss that. Black women are now saying because of that, they no longer want to defend him. And I can't blame them. I cannot blame them. How can you want to defend somebody who never defended you, who wasn't in your corner, who talked bad about you? I get that, but we can't do that, unfortunately.
Oh, thank you. Because I was preparing to cuss you out.
No. I get that. We can't do that because if I don't defend him, I'm not defending you. That's the problem. If I don't defend him, I'm not defending my own. Mm-hmm. So I have no choice but to defend him, especially in this situation.
Yeah, because no matter his beliefs, he still didn't deserve to be shot down.
He didn't deserve to be shot down by the police.
That's the issue. We're not talking about any individual person or their beliefs. We're talking about the situation.
In this situation, I have to defend him. Like I said, in order to defend you, I got to defend him. So I'm going to support you. And in doing so, I'm supporting him. But that's where the tables turned.
Yeah.
Black women sat there and was like, whoa. And then all of a sudden you started hearing black women say, nope, we're not doing this anymore. We can't do that. Unfortunately, we have to defend him. However, black men, especially black men who have this whole thing about black women are mean, black women are hard to get along with, black women are this, that, and the other. First and foremost, you need, before you sit up and say that black woman is the bane of your existence, turn that around and look at what did you do? Did you cheat on that black woman? Did you have her back when she needed you to have her back? You always think the grass is greener somewhere else, and you're always looking someplace else, but instead of looking at what you already have. What role did you play in that black woman losing her mind? Because she didn't just lose her mind. We don't just all lose our minds. Come on now. Y'all might want to say that, but no.
I ain't say nothing.
Y'all might want to say that, but we don't all just go crazy.
I agree.
Something takes us there.
Right.
Okay, and guaranteed 9 times out of 10, it's something you did, not something everybody else did.
No. Because of some, if we're going to go here, there are situations where women come into the relationship with baggage,
right?
And so you start treating me the same way or because of the way the last guy treated you.
And I give you that.
Yeah,
some women do carry over baggage, but guess what? Some men do too. Actually, just as many men carry over baggage as women. Y'all don't know how to let stuff go either.
Okay, but I'm definitely one to hold a grudge.
Okay,
I wouldn't call it baggage.
It is baggage.
No, if it causes me to treat you differently because of how I'm feeling or what I went through, then I would consider it baggage.
But you all bring baggage into it as well.
Sometimes the baggage is good.
Let me look out for this because this girl did such and such. This one got to be crazy too.
No, that's a woman thing.
No. I really wish I could say that was a woman thing, but it's not. It's a lot of men that do that. Now,
so it's a people thing.
Yeah, it's a people thing. How can you not remember something that happened in a different situation and not look out for it?
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with looking out for it. It's when you start treating the other person away.
Y'all do that too.
Well, I'm not saying that we don't.
Okay, so my point is everybody brings baggage into the relationship.
Okay,
everybody brings a little bit of baggage. At least some people bring in luggage. And, I mean,
just think about traveling. You know who brings the most luggage every time?
I don't think so.
I don't care if it's for a 2-hour trip. Y'all gonna have at least 17 suitcases.
No, I got a brother who packed more than I do, so don't even go there.
Oh, well, he's the exception to the rule.
But my point is, seriously, black women are the number one supporter of black men. Do not turn your back on black women because of what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 women did to you. Don't do that.
And I feel like there's one thing, we always say, oh, well, this is my preference. You can have a preference without having or putting up a prejudice against your own people.
Right.
Like, it's one thing to see, maybe you are into white girls or whatever. You can have an attraction to these white girls or any other girl, but that doesn't mean that when somebody asks you about a black girl, you start speaking negatively about them.
Oh, black women are this and black women are that. No,
and then generalizing all of the
we got a lot in common, but we not all the same. We got a lot in common. We do have a lot in common.
Yeah.
We all culturally have experienced a lot of the same things.
Yeah.
And let's be real. Most of our daddies weren't there either. And to be truthfully honest, as a female, the thing I've seen most, my father wasn't there. And it affected my sister more than it affected my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the black father not being in the home was major,
right,
to both sexes.
Exactly.
Okay, so don't go there. And when you are a black female and raised by a black woman who had no choice but to be strong and dominant, you're going to be strong and dominant. And you black men have to figure out how to deal with that. So yes, I'm not saying that we all don't come with cultural baggage as well.
Right.
We do. And there are things that we are kind of in generally alike, but we're all different. And, if you want to generalize this, black women are loving. Black women are kind. Yeah, sometimes
definitely forgiving.
Very forgiving.
Definitely forgiving. And that may be
ready to
woman,
fight at a moment's
that may
notice.
be a woman thing, because women, it seems, they tend to forgive us for all the bullcrap we do very quickly. Compared to me, because I'm not a forgiving person. Too much.
You're not.
We ain't talking about me though, right?
You know I mentioned you.
But I just wanted to end there.
So, but that's all I'm trying to get y'all to understand. Black men, you have got to stop. And one thing I see with white men and white women. White men are supportive and they have white women's backs.
Yeah, they're protective.
Even if they date black women.
And then not to say that there aren't black guys who protect black women. Not to say that there aren't those guys out there.
No, I'm not saying they're
right.
all gone. No, there are a few. But if you want to mimic anything, look at how they're treating their women. Even if they do date outside their race, even if they marry outside their race, they still protect their white women. For the most part. I mean, you got your idiots that don't protect nobody.
Right.
But for the most part, they do protect their women. You guys don't. I mean, I've seen so many instances where a black man just leaves his woman hanging. It's like, really, dude? You ain't got her back. If anybody has her back, you need to have her back. You just walked away and left the conversation. Why? Why would you just leave her hanging? Oh, she got it. She got it. Yeah, she got it. But stand back there and
support her.
And support that. I mean, we're not asking y'all to come in and save the day. No, just be there if we need you.
Right on.
Because we are always there for y'all. Always. Now, your woman might not be there for you at the moment, but it's a black woman that's going to support you. Just like in this case, black women stood up and immediately came to his support. And then they see his Twitter and that it hurts.
Right.
That's what it is. It's not anything else but very painful. Here we are standing up for a man who didn't stand up for us.
Right. And we don't know because, he's not alive anymore. He may not even stand up for you guys if something happened.
Right.
We don't know.
If he made it and survived and we don't know if he would still feel the same way about black women.
That if he had survived, then this would have been an awakening for him to see, this situation happened. I was shot, maybe he didn't pass away, but I was shot, and look who stood up for me and was the most vocal in my support.
Yeah,
these black women.
Where were the white women you was dating then?
That should have been an eye opener, if the situation was different,
So anywho, Facebook. So Facebook been to the Senate and hearings and testified and this, that, and the other, talking about pay for Facebook, and I'm not paying for Facebook. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I don't care enough. I rarely post anymore. I scroll.
Social media
all it is fights now.
Yeah, social media is just not that serious.
It's fights and people trying to ruin Avengers for us or for me because you already ruined it for yourself.
I did it on purpose. Anywho, but the one thing that I think everybody can agree on is that social media needs some regulations. Unfortunately, we all say government needs to stay out of everything. People need to be able to regulate themselves, but people can't regulate themselves.
Well, can you say the government needs to, to regulate social media when you got the man in the White House who is not regulated and says
No.
they need to regulate him. If they can't regulate him, then don't come trying to regulate me.
I agree, but let's not talk about him right now. Let's leave him back in that first conversation. So there's got to be some changes because what happened was unfair, very unfair to 87 million people. Now, I don't know if I was one of them 87 million people or not. They supposedly were supposed to let you know if you were. I haven't been told. I went to see.
Why would they?
Because that was the deal.
But,
I don't look. I can only take them for their word.
Why?
I can only, that's all I can do because I ain't got no other thing to do.
Well, I just assume that they're lying because they weren't forthcoming with this information before.
And
so
you can do that.
Why
you
not
can
lie?
Do that. But
I ain't gonna tell on myself. Shit.
But
yeah, I done send mail to everybody.
Look, my point is,
shoot.
So I went on their little thinking my bob to see what all the information they had about me.
Who?
Facebook.
Okay.
It's all wrong. But then I probably post 4 times a year. So on my personal page.
Right.
Now the other pages, I post a lot. But my personal page, I post maybe 4 times a year. My birthday.
Well, around April, you have regular posts about the AIDS walk.
About the AIDS walk. And then in between holidays, that's it.
Yeah, right.
So I'm not a big Facebook posters, but they didn't have anything on me anyway, and what they had was inaccurate, so I could care less what they done told somebody. And then secondly, when it comes to sending me fake news, I know how to spot fake news because I've worked in media for so long. I know when something is not coming from a real media
source.
company.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I really don't care personally. It's not much you're going to find out about me on Facebook that you can't find out by Googling me. So I'm not too concerned. But there does need to be some type of regulation, especially when children are involved.
Right.
Because we've got teenagers and young kids on Facebook. So
and then taking this fake news, even older people taking this fake news as gospel and then running with it. And that's how they're using it because they feed you all this fake stuff and it stirs up emotions in you
and
it starts you to getting angry.
Boycotts, rape. I mean, just shootings, all of
yes,
this.
I noticed yesterday, and what stopped me from thinking I was being like punked or whatever. But I noticed yesterday, every time I went on Facebook, if it wasn't about the Avengers, it was like something political but negative, or like a black person being attacked by the police, or this person being arrested, and this person and I just started to feel so angry. And I thought about this. I said they're probably pushing these articles in order to basically provoke a reaction from me to get me angry.
And then I had to go and shoot somebody or do something.
I had to go and make sure that these were posts from actual people that I know versus like a sponsored, video or a sponsored article or whatever. And these were people that I know that actually were commenting. And this is how, this is how they think. So I know it was them. But I started to notice that I'm not getting anything positive in my feed right now. It was a moment of just nothing but negativity, nothing but things to piss me off. And I closed Facebook. No.
I don't look at it as much as I used to. But I mean, it's not just more so lately. I just been busy, but
I know that the people out there are posting positive stuff. Facebook just wasn't showing it to me.
Facebook's not showing it to you.
That's the problem,
and that's the scary part because Facebook is the one that's in control of the algorithm. Right. Leave my feed alone. Let me see things as they come in real time. Leave my feed alone. Stop giving me algorithms of what you think I want to see.
Right.
1. Number 2, stop. If I like a page, then I want it in my stream. If I didn't like that page, or somebody else that I know likes a page, I don't want it in my stream. I'm not them. I get more Walmart posts. So-and-so likes this page. I don't give a damn.
But you like Walmart too.
I don't care. I don't like Walmart to the point that they liked on my Facebook page, and I want to see, Walmart. If I want something from Walmart, I go to walmart.com. Hello.
But why don't they probably offering you some coupons and all of this stuff?
No. No, no, no. Don't put it in my Facebook stream. I don't want to see it. I want to see things that come in from my friends as they come in. That's all I want to see. And the moment Facebook took that feature away, where you could put your timeline in order of
Most recent. That's no longer an option.
you have to go
It's
in and
like
put
very-
it every single time.
Yeah.
Every
It's not
single
default.
time. Yeah, it's not default, and you can't set it to default. The other thing is Facebook has now made it to where, like, if you mute the videos on Facebook and go out and come back in, they'll turn back on. So if I'm working and I'm sitting here scrolling Facebook and ain't supposed to be scrolling Facebook, y'all telling on me.
Mine doesn't do
Come
that.
on.
Mine stays,
Every
it
time
stays
I hit
muted.
mute and go out and come back in, there it goes again. I'm like, really?
And
I
it was
know I ain't
irritating
crazy.
when you're scrolling Facebook and the videos just start playing all automatically. Somehow I was able to stop that too, because that was irritating.
I want to stop them all. Anywho, but the few regulations I think they need to have is companies, first and foremost, must inform you immediately of a data breach, not 3-4 years later.
Yeah, after
when
they've
it's
done a
too
little-
late.
They probably do a little digging, a little research to see if it's worth telling anybody.
I think
don't
what they
know.
do is the very first thing they do is say, data breach, protect us. What do we need to do to protect us from being sued, to protect us from this? That's what they do versus saying, oh, data breach, everybody go protect your data. So now 20 people have already been sold on the dark web, and
because
everybody's identity is messed up. And then you find out 4 years later it
Right.
started from something that happened with Facebook.
Right. And the thing is, like, if they were to say, okay, we had a data breach yesterday, then a lot of people would probably go and close their accounts. And that's not what they want. And so
Hey.
if you find out that it happened 4 years ago and you haven't noticed anything fishy or whatever, then you'd be like, oh, okay, well, it must be okay. You know?
No, don't believe the hype.
Yeah.
Because it's not necessarily okay. Second thing, companies or advertisers rather cannot lie. Okay. There used to be a regulation for advertisers where by the FCC they couldn't lie. If an advertiser said something in an ad that was found to be untrue, they would be fined by the FCC, and they may have to pay the consumer. Okay, that used to be the rule. When Reagan came in, he removed that, and that's how long ago it was removed. Reagan had it removed. Now advertisers are just saying what the hell they want to say, which is where fake news has come about. You've got people making up stuff to sell a product. And I think one of the things that they're doing is making up fear to sell
inciting fear, yeah.
security systems, to sell
Guns.
to sell,
Yeah.
to sell anything that, like these backpacks now,
Yeah.
the Kevlar backpacks.
Mm-hmm.
They're inciting fear. So advertisers, we need to go back to that regulation where advertisers can't lie. Okay, the regulation was there. Oh, it's not necessary. These are grown people. They should be able to do grown people things and make grown people
Well, you should
decisions.
only advertise that on grown people websites.
Well,
this
as
is
you
not a
can
grown
see,
people
these are
website.
grown people, and grown people don't know the right thing to do. So government needs to step in and regulate. That's what regulation is for. When grown people don't know the right thing to do.
But what do you do when you can't trust the government?
Well, I maybe we got to talk about this after this fool get out of office.
Yeah, because having this current administration and this current Congress regulate anything, like I have absolutely no trust, nothing.
I get
with
it.
what's going on in government right now.
I get it. Well, here, these senators harassed this poor little white boy who started Facebook while he was in college and didn't know. He wasn't trying to do this. Guaranteed he wasn't trying to do this when it started. And now it's gotten into a situation where, okay, this is generating me billions of dollars. I'm not going to stop it. But there are things that's going on that he could have never even foresaw. Everybody you can't foresee what's happening in technology. Wherever you create something, somebody else is creating something.
Mm-hmm.
And when they start figuring out how to make what you created work for them, they exploit that.
Right.
Especially on a free level. So I get it. He couldn't have thought about everything. But you know what? Obama said companies can't sell you information. These companies or these data companies, they got to stop selling stuff. And so he put laws in place. And the orange man got in office and immediately removed those laws. So now your ISP can take your information and sell
search,
it.
Yeah, your search history,
Your
and all of
search
that.
history, all of that, and sell it to other companies. So now your privacy is gone. And these senators, these old white senators, oh my God! And if you heard those hearings, they didn't know what cookies were.
They probably didn't even know what Facebook was. I heard
didn't.
somebody was confusing Facebook with Twitter, just up there
They
talking.
was all twisted up. So these old men who don't know nothing about nothing, trying to grill this man and trying to say he's wrong for all of this stuff, but yet and still, these are the same old men that said, okay, yeah, Trump took away those protections. So you're taking away our protections, but hollering at a man who's...
You feel like he should have been protecting us.
No, it's not his job. It was yours. So government needs to put back in those controls. They need to give you control of your information.
But then the same old man you're talking about, would you want them to be in charge of the control?
Understand. I get it. I understand we got a major flaw. The only thing I can deal with right now is Facebook. So that's what I'm talking about. This is what needs to happen. These are where these regulations need to come in. The information on their servers needs to be in our control. We need to be able to go in and say, okay, delete everything from 2005 to the beginning of my Facebook account. You know, if you go on to Facebook and you pull a backup, they have every single thing you've done on Facebook from the moment you stepped on Facebook. I don't have a computer that has everything I've done on my computer since I stepped on the computer. You need to be able to control your information, how long it stays on their servers, when it gets deleted. And you need to know that it's deleted. How about not even keeping it on your servers?
Right.
Keep it on my computer.
Yeah.
And then when my computer connects to your server, it's able to generate information, just a few codes here and there, so my information can be used. They need to do something. There's a way to do it. You can't tell me it's not. There's too much going on with computers right now. You can't tell me it's not. You also need an easy way to back up your social media. If you're going to come at me with something I posted 45 years ago, I need to be able to have proof of that myself. I need to know that you didn't go in and manipulate that. I need to have the original. There needs to be an easy way to back up your own information.
You don't think that's available?
It's available on Facebook.
Okay.
There's one available on Google and Twitter. But all the other platforms, I have not seen them. I don't know if they are. But, I mean, it's one simple little program you could put on your computer, and then you could put your little social medias in, and automatically
it retrieves all that.
It will retrieve that information would be best. It's secure for people. But they want to change up this API to do this and this to do that because, no, you all, I mean, and if you all social medias have to come together and come up with a program together.
That's not gonna happen.
I know, but my point is, things like this can be done. They also can't insist that your information live in their cloud. That's what we having problems now with Echo and Google Home. Everything has to live in the cloud in order for it to work. So they want me to upload my entire contacts into their cloud. That ain't gonna happen.
So when you say call so and so, they can call.
They can in order to make their assistant work, it has to live in their cloud. No, make your device connect to the computer in my house. Why I gotta load everything? If you want to hear music on Google Home, it's gotta upload to Google Play. Why? It's right there on my computer. I can hit the play button. So to tell this crazy lady to do something, it got to go up in your, why? No. And then this is the why. So you can buy cloud space.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
Okay. So these companies are insisting that your stuff live in their cloud, make you buy all of this cloud space, which I'm not about to do. Mm-hmm. And then somebody hacks your information. And now everything's gone.
Exactly. What's the name? Sent me an email the other day. Apple saying my iCloud. What is it? My iCloud storage is almost full. And I'm like, what's in there? Not even knowing what the hell they talking about. And it's like you can get 99 cents a month. You can get 50 gigabytes or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm like, show me what you have that's taking up 5 gigs of space, and then we'll talk. I'm not going to pay for more storage when I didn't ask you really
to store nothing in the first place.
So what the hell are you talking about? So that's a little bit confusing, but it's a hustle. Everybody's
and that's
hustling.
what this is about. And I get that's why you all are making these things. But when you do that, you are putting everybody else that doesn't know about this stuff at risk. And 5 years later, we hear this stuff.
Yeah, but I don't think they don't care. It's about
Of
making
course,
money right
no,
now.
Of
They
course,
don't care.
they don't care. That's why regulation needs to be in place.
Back-
Let's not go there.
Back to that.
So, also the ability to delete your page immediately. Do you know how long it takes to delete a Facebook page?
Well, they got to make sure that you really want to do it.
I don't think they ever delete.
And well, because if you sign back in,
The
then it's
moment
like
you sign back
everything-
in,
everything is
everything's there.
But I thought after 30 days,
No,
then
because
it goes inactive.
Initially, I had a novelty Facebook account versus a novelty page,
Uh-huh.
and I canceled that. I deleted that account when I created the page.
Okay.
Okay, so deleted everything. That was years ago. I keep getting emails saying somebody's trying to log into it, and it keeps telling me to verify it and get my friends to verify the account. I'm like, I don't even know the people who was friends on that account. I don't know.
That sounds like a hustle right there. It sounds like a scam.
Either that or somebody is trying to hack that page.
Okay.
One or
Why?
the other. Good question. I don't know, but I know
got some porn or
it
something on
doesn't. Are you kidding me?
I don't know.
No. So but my point is, give me the ability to delete it immediately. So what if it's all gone? I'm the one that got to do the work to put it back up.
But you just imagine if you didn't do it on purpose.
Hey,
Oh,
then
you'd
that's
be
your dumb
crying.
fault.
Oh,
That's
you'd
your
be
fault.
crying. All that data gone.
Also, internet information should be like mail. It should be a felony if it is accessed and used without your consent.
I
Period.
totally agree with that. Yeah.
If anything that goes through the U.S. mail system, if somebody opens your mail, even if it's your mama, if you are over of age, 18 or older, and your mama opens your mail, it is a felony. You can send her to jail.
Well, who do I call?
Really?
Who
You
do
call
I-
the police. It's a felony, and it's not just you gonna go to county, you gonna have a court hearing.
It's federal.
No, it's a federal case. It can keep you from voting. You can go to jail. You can pay huge fine. It's serious.
Right.
And internet should be the same way. You hack into my account. You open my email. Like right now, Google goes through my emails. I don't understand why, but I always get a notification about a bill. And I'm like, I never gave you permission to look at my bills. But Google, because they come in through my Google account, Google goes through my bills. They let me know, hey, you got
As
a
a
bill
reminder,
due.
yeah.
I don't need that reminder. I got my own reminder,
But they're just trying to be helpful and look out for you.
Don't look through my mail. And now, especially because all companies want to move everything to email. So now all companies are able to view my mail. These are the things that we need to be looking at and saying, okay, whoa, hold on. If we can get regulation on those things, serious laws on those things, then that will start to protect a lot of social media stuff. You shouldn't be able to pay somebody $50 and run a complete check on me and know my credit, my dwelling history, my family's credit.
Right.
I had a friend of mine pull one of those on me because I kept saying, well, no, they're not going to get much. It's not much out there. They're not going to get much. This was years ago. He was like, nope, took him $50. He swiped his credit card. My mama's name was there, her entire credit history, my brother's, his entire credit history. And I'm just like, what the hell?
Right. And who put all that together?
And why is it so easy to get to?
All it takes is $50.
$50.
I might have to see what you up to. I might
All right.
I might have to
I'm
pay.
open book.
I might have to pay the $50. I need to know who I'm recording with.
I got jury duty Monday. That's about all you gonna find.
Do you? Are you
Yes.
excited about it?
No, not this time. I was excited the first time.
Right
Now
on.
I'm just like, I really got to get my car. I got to drive in rush hour.
Well, you know what?
I gotta
with,
find a place
with
to
this
park.
current, and did you finish your thoughts? Because I didn't want to,
Yeah.
interrupt. But with this current, climate or whatever, I'm looking at, jury duty totally different. It's like, depending on what happened. If it's my brothers that's up there, I just feel like I can't send them to jail because I feel like people are out there doing the same thing for their people, and because we so truthful,
Well, and the thing
it just
is,
I hate to feel this way because if you did a crime, especially now if you kill somebody and they prove it, your ass going to jail. You ain't got me. I'm not gonna look out for you. But if it's something dumb, and no, I'm not. No, it's not about to happen. Like the old Meek Mill situation, and then we need to talk
That was
about Bill Cosby too.
well, and that's what I was gonna bring up. And when you say that, if he did what he's been accused of,
Bill Cosby.
yeah,
Yeah.
he needs to go to jail.
Right. Now,
He
I
needs
totally
to
understand.
be punished. But the problem that I'm having with this
Yeah.
is
All the other
Matt
men.
Lauer,
Yeah.
Harvey Weinstein,
Yeah.
now Tom Brokaw.
Yeah.
Uh,
Your president. Yeah. How many
not
was
my
like
president, but the orange man.
21
20
women? Oh, something like that. Yeah.
And we're not doing anything about this, but yet and still we have an 80-year-old blind man
Going through multiple trials.
that there's no evidence of. It's just a bunch of women saying the same thing that they've been saying since the 80s.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's not that I'm opposed to him being in jail for a crime he committed. I'm not opposed to that. But I am opposed to the fact that we haven't done anything with every other guy out there. You know, this Me Too movement, it's not doing anything for black people. It's not doing anything for black women. And to be truthfully honest, it has not helped women outside of Hollywood. You know, women who go to work and are being harassed by their boss at McDonald's, they don't have the same, I've said this before, they don't have the same ability. I can't go to Twitter and Facebook and say my McDonald's boss is harassing me.
Well, you may be able to. You know, you never know. You just have to try, because now you have people have a platform, and it's as simple as a Twitter or a Facebook where you can share your story.
Well, when
and
I start seeing that,
it might get picked up, you know, by the media. It's just that, you know, when I guess it comes from too many people too fast, then maybe people check out.
Well, and then my other problem is still the same as it's always been. We're trying to convict people who did something 30, 40 years ago. Hell, they can't remember what they did. Times were different. What I experienced as a teenager is not the same thing as teenagers experience now.
Right.
So if somebody were to look at my situation and judge my situation of this generation as a teenager, they might see wrong in something that I never saw wrong in.
Right.
And it's very difficult to tell somebody, well, 30, 40 years later. I mean, think about it. You sitting here and you do something. You do something that's very normal. It may be not right. It might sit with you as, maybe this is the wrong thing to do, but everybody else is doing it, so I'm going to do it too. You know, and then you do it and you think nothing of it. And 40 years later, somebody says, oh, you was wrong. Now we're going to send you to jail for it. It was like, wait a minute. I did that 30, 40 years ago. Situations are different. No, don't misunderstand. I get rape is one thing. Rape has been illegal for a while.
And it should be. Yeah.
You're right. But, you know, it has been illegal for a while. So I'm not saying that. But the testimony that we hear, we only hear one side of the story. I never heard the other side. I never heard all this evidence these women supposedly had. I heard what the women said rather, but I never heard what his defense was outside of his small confession.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, one of the lawyers said the other day that one of the women was talking about how she was purposely going out looking for big black men. She was looking for somebody to sleep with, somebody to get money from, extort money from, all of that. She was looking for that, and she found him. Where was this? And I don't know how it all came in to play, so I don't know what to believe. In this story, I don't know what to believe. If he did what they are accusing him of, he needs to go to jail. He deserves to go to jail.
But along with those other guys.
Along with every last one. We've got to put these other guys on trial. Why are they not on trial? Why are these white women not going
temporarily?
But why are these white women not going for them just as much as they were going for Bill Cosby? Where are they? What is going on? And then also with the everybody else. Okay, so Cosby did what he did, but Cosby also had an HR department that allowed it to happen. He had a lawyer that allowed it to happen. He had all of these people in his path or in his life that surrounded him and protected him and allowed these things to happen. These are the people that I want to see held accountable as well.
Right.
I definitely want to see an HR representative held accountable when somebody came to her and said he raped me, and she says, "Oh, let's sweep it under the rug.
Right.
Don't talk about it."
That's-
I want
and
that
here's a-
person
here's a
held
check.
accountable.
Yeah.
Right. I want that lawyer held accountable that goes in after the rape and says, "I need you to sign paperwork."
Yeah.
I want that
Like
person
a
to lose
Michael
their
Cohen.
license.
Yeah.
I want these people held accountable because he couldn't have done what he did had you not supported it. These women would have been heard had you not done your part in supporting it. And then if Bill Cosby can go to jail, I want that 80-year-old white woman that said
That lied. Go
and
ahead.
said Emmett Till touched her, whistled at her, whatever she said he did, I want her held accountable in his death. Because if it was not for her, he wouldn't have been dead.
Right.
And that's what bothers me. It's the white woman that comes out after Cosby is dead. His entire legacy is blown to smithereens. And then she comes out and she says, "Oh, well, so-and-so paid me. I lied." That's the problem. That's what I fear. And that's the only thing about this Me Too movement going after people from years ago. I get it, going after people who are doing it right now,
yeah.
but going after people from years ago, because there's no way, the evidence, all of that is gone, and now it's just your word versus his. And I'm sorry, in the history of this country, too many white women have lied on black men, and they're in jail for it now, or have been put in jail for it.
And the one thing that I think we also appreciate about this movement is it's changing the culture or exposing this culture
Right.
of, I guess guys getting away with all this, assault and all this treatment of women and thinking, because I hold this job over their head, then there's nothing they can do or say about it. We need to change that. And I think this movement is changing that.
Well, and that's good. We also need to change. I don't know. I don't want to say that mothers are bad mothers, because they're not. Everybody parents the best they know how. Don't come with a book. None of that. But somehow men grow up, even when they grow up with just a mother in the home. Somehow men grow up with a different sense of what is right and wrong to a woman. And I think a lot of it is, I think it was Tom Brokaw, when they broke his story, he says, "I did this and I did this, but I never, ever, ever hurt a woman. I never forced a woman to do anything." And I think there's a mental understanding of the difference between forced. Just forcing a woman to do something is not necessarily putting your hands on her and holding her down or pushing her close to you. It's not necessarily about putting your hands on her. It's also about what you do outside, what you say to people, how you talk to people,
So
how
like
you treat
you
her.
put like a mental obligation or something on them.
No, it's not a mental obligation. It's understanding of right and wrong. If I tell you, I don't want to go out with you, I'm not interested, and you keep going, but baby this and baby that, but baby, come on. It is a kind of tug of war.
Uh-huh.
It's a force. I'm telling you no, and you keep going in at me, and then when you don't get what you want, bitch. Do you know how many times that's happened to me personally? I finally got to the point where I started wearing a wedding ring, and I'm married. It's the only way to make you stop. That is a push. That is a force, an outside force. You might not feel that. But the thing is, the reason you don't feel that and you don't understand it is because you are taught something as a child that I am not, and vice versa. As a child, as a young woman, I'm taught, don't let anybody force you to do what you want, that you don't want to do. Physically, mentally, don't let anybody pull you. Don't let them mentally manipulate you. You guys are just taught something different. And I think in a lot of ways, when Tom Brokaw and Matt Lauer, when they say, "But I never," they really believe they didn't. Even in Cosby's case, he's giving these women quaaludes. He's thinking, they coming up here to get high. This is what we do.
Uh-huh.
So they coming in to the party, and he does the same thing. Oh, they coming to have sex. Most men, if you come up to their hotel room at 2, 3 in the morning, y'all think we coming to have sex.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, my point is, but women don't necessarily think that way. 2, 3 in the morning, I'm going upstairs and we just gonna sit and talk and chit chat and he just got off stage. He just did his show. He's up. Oh cool. We just gonna go hang out. That's what the way women are thinking now.
Some women,
and some women are. And don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, not all, but some women really. So it's just a matter of the way we both perceive a situation where you
Okay.
really don't think you're doing anything wrong, but she takes something you did extremely wrong. And it's about what we're taught.
well, you sound like the same lady that was accusing Aziza Ansari.
No.
Mrs. Grace.
No.
That's what it sounds like.
No.
That's
No. Because
That's
this
what it sounds
woman,
like.
she did everything he wanted her to do. And then she said,
But if
but he
it-
wasn't picking up on my mental cues. No.
But
That's
you're,
not what
you're
I'm
talking
saying.
about force. But if you, in the end, still don't do what they are trying to get you to do, then what's the force?
Okay.
You're not being forced to do anything because you didn't do it. Now, with the Matt Lauer and with the Tom Brokaw situation, if the women actually gave in to the force, then, and they may have been physical or whatever, then I feel like that's different.
No, what I'm saying is it's the mental. Whereas Matt Lauer and Tom Brokaw really don't believe they did anything wrong. I honestly, when they say no, I didn't do. There are times when some of these stories come out. I think Al Franken, for instance, touching women on their booties. He's not. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do what I'm being accused of. We have to define sexual harassment for both sexes. It has to be defined. People need to know where the line should be, where the lines are drawn. When we raise young men, we have got to tell them from a woman's standpoint the same thing we're telling our young women. So if we tell our young women, don't succumb to a man trying to push you into doing something you don't want to do, and if he calls you a bitch afterwards, just walk away, then we need to tell our young men the same thing. Hey, if a woman says no, she means no. She's not interested. Don't keep pushing her. And then when you finally realize she's done, don't call her out her name.
I feel like we are taught that no means no. But then
I think you are taught no means no.
Experience then transitions that thought process.
And it could be experience, social surrounding settings, things like that. Everything changes because your parent is not the only one that raises you. Unfortunately, your parent is not the only one that raises you. So parents are doing the best they can, but somewhere in here, young men are losing touch with something that women are not. And I guess I really don't know how to explain it, but we have got to find a way to get men to understand and be on the same page as women, because that's the problem. When these guys are saying, I didn't do anything wrong, but I didn't do that. Now, when you're able to prove rape and physical force, that's one
different.
thing. But when you're able to prove mental force, that's another. And no.
Is that even a thing?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is. There comes a point when a woman just gets tired of being called a bitch.
No,
yes.
I'm saying, is it a thing that's like in textbook, like mental force? Is that a thing, or is just
I don't know. That's
I
just
understand
my word.
You're explaining. Okay,
That's just my
Okay.
word. I don't know.
Okay.
But no, in Aziz Ansari's case,
With Grace,
this woman had 50 million different opportunities she never even had to
but
go
with
back.
him, he was still persistent. She made go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think I get persistent because
But that's what guys think they're being when you say.
And I
you
think
don't
that's
know,
where I think that's where
yeah.
the confusion is, because there is a persistence, but when a persistence turns into now I'm a bitch and now I'm a hoe and now you going back and you tell that bitch this and that, that becomes harassment.
Mm-hmm.
When you just are persistent and ask me to go out with you, and I'm like, no, I'm not interested, and we can move from there and be on a good note, then that's one thing. But when you are persistent and then you go to calling me a bitch and a hoe, and you go and you turn around and you talk about me like a dog, that becomes harassment.
Yeah, I don't think that's not really the norm. I don't think.
No.
There are certain guys, and I think it depends on kind of where you were raised, where that happens. But I don't think that's the norm, because
I can't
guys can take no.
Like I said, I heard it so many times, even at 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know nothing about boys and sex. At that time, I thought kissing was passing spit. I was slow. Shut up. But I was real slow to become a woman. I really was. I was still playing with my baby dolls. I'm telling the truth.
Yeah, you still probably got them.
I do. I ain't gonna lie. But at 14, a guy's whistling at me as I'm walking down the street. 14-year-old girl, and my mom's already told me, "Hey, somebody is whistling at you. That's disrespectful. You don't acknowledge that."
Yeah.
And I do exactly what I'm told. I don't acknowledge that. Well, fuck you, bitch. I'm 14 years old. That left an impression on me. And to this day, that irks me. So it's one thing when you are persistent and trying to get my attention. It's another thing when you take that persistence and you'll get agitated and angry because I say no, and you turn that into harassment.
Yeah.
And you think in your mind, well, I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't touch her. And I think that in a lot of cases is what happened with Matt Lauer and Tom Brokaw, where they could not take rejection well. And instead of leaving it alone, they turned it into something else. And then now they're sitting going, well, what did I do wrong? They truly don't understand, because that is what society put them in. Because I know good and well that boy's mama didn't tell him if a woman rejects you, call her a bitch and walk away. She didn't do that. He picked that up from someplace else. Probably his boys playing ball. Probably at school, maybe even his daddy, but he picked it up someplace else. He didn't pick it up at home. That's where the disconnection is. A lot of these people that are being accused, especially these cases that are 20 and 30 years old, don't even realize they did anything wrong. And that now they're being forced to deal with something that they did wrong that they don't quite understand. And we need to start defining so people can understand. Women are coming out of the woodwork. Oh, he did this, he did that. And some of the stuff I'm like, y'all really for real? This is nothing. Let it go. This don't even need to be discussed. And then some women are coming out with real hardcore cases. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, that has a point. And I think that now it's becoming noise. Somebody said it a while ago. This Me Too movement is going to become noise because it's going to become so much. Every man has a past. Every man has done something to a female that he should not have done. He may not have realized it when he did it, but 20, 30 years later, he's looking back going, dang, yeah, that probably wasn't a good thing to do. Probably wasn't right.
The other thing is, even though some stuff may seem minor and not maybe worth mentioning, to that woman or to that young man that's talking about their Me Too moment, it could have changed the way that they are today.
And it could have, just like that moment defined how I saw men. It really did. Those little moments do define, but they can't be criminal. I wouldn't go back and say, okay, that guy needs to go to jail.
And I don't know if anybody, I don't know if everybody is trying to make things criminal versus making us aware of what's
and I'll
going
give
on.
you that.
Yeah.
People may be you need to be aware these things are going on. You do need to be aware. But in the process of building this Me Too movement, we must define. We have to. There's nothing. I was looking at.
Define or redefine, because I think there's a definition of sexual harassment, sexual assault. All these things.
We have to redefine.
Okay.
There is a definition, but that definition of sexual harassment is so loose that it could be anything. When you go into your HR meeting and they teach you sexual harassment, young people going to work now, they're confused. Well, how do I tell a woman she's pretty?
Usually they are extreme cases. Like you watch a video, it's like the guy grabbing the girl's booty
and
or something like that.
Okay, that's wrong. But now you go to work and you wonder, okay, she looks good in that outfit. I want to compliment her. Can I compliment her? Is that okay? I said something to somebody the other day and I was like, I wonder if I should have said that.
But you like his package?
No.
Oh.
It wasn't a he. It was a woman. And it was like, it was a really, it was bad pair of shoes. And I was like, ooh, those are hot. Anybody could have took that anyway. And even when I took that sexual harassment course at work, they say that sexual harassment doesn't even have to be, you and I can be having a conversation and somebody else can take it wrong. And it's sexual harassment.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's too broad. We have got to, I was looking at something the other day where Empire, where Jussie Smollett's character.
Jamal,
thank you. He said, R&B don't exist no more. People don't even use them genres no more. Bull.
Oh, when he was talking to Tori.
Right.
Yeah.
That's bull. Genres are used because if you don't classify yourself, they're going to classify you. They have to. They have to for radio. They got to figure out where you fit in, where that music fits. They're going to, people do it automatically. They don't even realize they're doing it. When they start giving away Billboard Awards or Grammys, they are going to classify you. You may not think it exists, but it does exist. This is the same thing here. We've got to start classifying these things. Okay, is this a minor infraction? Is this a major infraction? We've got to start giving definitive information. So that way men know, okay, when I walk in and I see that chick standing over in the corner and I think her skirt is hitting her just the right way, I know what I need to say. Ooh, she got a big old ass. I know I can't say that. Okay. I mean, and honestly, people need that defined for them so they know when they're not crossing over, because a lot of people who are not trying to cross the line end up crossing the line.
Right.
And it shouldn't be that difficult to go to work, not just to go to work. I mean, we ain't even got to dealing with your boss, dealing with the job, dealing with everything you hate, that employee over and the customer you can't stand. We ain't got to that. We're just talking about getting in the door. You know, we've got to make things a little bit easier. And unfortunately, these are the things that have to go through government. And unfortunately, it is that government we have right now. Hey, y'all the ones didn't go vote. I went to vote.
Don't say y'all. I was right there.
So we got to put definitions on things.
Right on.
And life will be a little bit smoother. Not a lot.
Maybe.
Because people are still idiots.
Yeah.
It's just in our nature.
Because even with laws defined, we still
do stupid stuff. But with laws defined, at least we know who goes to jail. It's time for.
Well, we know who's supposed to go to jail.
But again, we need a complete.
There are those with privilege.
We need a complete reform: justice reform, criminal reform, prison reform, presidential reform. Reform. That's the new word.
Reform.
Word of the day. Reform. So you got anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm done. I'm going to see the Avengers. I see y'all. I'm out.
Peace.
Woo.